left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways.
Hello there and welcome back to Spec Esports. You join us for round 8 of the RS1 series on PlayStation. I'm your usual commentator, Matt, aka Plevs. Thanks for joining me. I might be lucky enough to get a co-commentator as well in a moment. So we'll see how we go with that. Hopefully Alex Pato, or Marco, aka Alex Pato, is joining me. So it'd be nice to have a co-commentator. Are you there, Marco?
Yes, I am. Good evening
amazing.
to you all.
Awesome.
And,
Thanks for joining me, mate.
No problem.
Team AlphaTari on RS2 on comms tonight. So yeah, no, they can definitely hear you. I can see your voice
Nice.
in the stream. So yeah, all good. I think we'll move on and we'll do our usual intro because qualifying's already started, so we'll want to jump to that as quickly as we can. So let's take a look at the Bahrain track map. We're of course at Bahrain for round 8. Just like the real F1 is this weekend, and what a circuit it is for racing. 15 turns, 5.412 kilometers or 3.362 miles. 3 DRS zones, plenty of overtaking opportunities. Really high-speed circuit, but you actually need a surprising amount of downforce around here because there's some tricky corners, some tricky braking zones, most notably turn 8 and 10. So let's have a quick look at previous round's results. And VSR Domi got his 5th win of the season at Australia last weekend. Juice 2 got pole position and led every lap. Actually won the race on track, but got a penalty on the last lap. And Duncan finished P3 on track, but actually got a post-race 10-second penalty. They just dropped him down the field So third place went to WSO Ferreira. All right, so let's just jump straight in here, and hopefully I have the stream up. I do. I'll just need to unpause. There we go. So we've joined with 8 minutes gone in quali. Some already ridiculous times on the board, as you can see. There's our Dommy with a 24.5, if you don't mind. That is insane. Pole position. What was pole position in RS2? Marco, was that?
I think it was
pretty
24
similar.
point. Yeah, pretty similar time.
Pretty similar. 24.5 or 6. So they're already on that pace, and the track's only going to ramp up, of course, as qualifying continues. 15 drivers on the grid today, so not bad. SHZ at midnight has actually crashed out or retired. I have to confess we did miss that as we were doing an intro, so not quite sure what happened there, but that's some rotten luck, and Cohen just invalidates his lap there. But we'll go on board with Lars in the McLaren, having switched from the AlphaTauri to the McLaren team. Opens up DRS, coming up to turn 4 up the hill. Seems like it's not really climbing up the hill in the game, but from watching the F1 this week, it's definitely a bit of a climb up a hill there. It'd be really good if they could laser scan some tracks so you get some accurate track maps. There's also a big bump just coming up to where this white line is, just on the braking point right there. Apparently there's a really big bump in real life which unsettles the car just as the drivers are about to apply the brakes. So yeah, little details. Of course, we are talking about an arcade game, essentially, not a sim game, unfortunately. So yeah.
Well, at least, yeah.
Yeah, you go.
I mean, a lot of people like play this game, and there's even an esports like league. So I mean, Cody should take care of that. To be honest, like many tracks don't even have uphill and downhill corners sometimes, which is kind of bad. But still, hopefully for the next game, let's see what Lars can do.
Yeah, it comes across the line. It's pole, provisional pole with our 5.22. That is very quick. It was a very nice lap. I was going to comment that in his second sector he was going very quick. Let's see what Dario is currently on lap, coming down to infamous turn 10 braking zone. Locks up quite a bit actually. Opens up DRS, but that was he's still got a nice run through there. Coming up to turn 11. Brakes so late here because it's uphill. But yeah, I think Codemasters have quite a few issues to fix before they get to like little bumps on tracks like Bahrain. He's up 3/10, is Dario, but he's drifted. He lost the rear, and that's going to be invalid, so he'll be aborting that lap. Unfortunately for him, is Dommy on another lap now. We're picking him up. Ooh, just clips inside curve there at turn 7. You don't want to take too much inside curve there because it can. It's kind of an auto spin curb. That one, as well as turn 12 actually, 2 auto spin curves, and now MRL Russell has joined. I'm not quite sure who that is. Ryan XX has joined. He's actually a driver, so that's fine. Not quite sure who the other guy is, but
okay.
Anyway, hopefully we get to Ryan on the grid, and the other guy's left, so that's all good. That was a purple sector 2 for Dommy, so is he going to improve on the 5.76 he's done and take back provisional pole? Let's see. Up to the line now. I think he's going to do. Oh,
yeah.
Oh my goodness! 24.3. Come on now, that's insane. The pace of these
And
guys.
G4 Corner is now ending his lap, and he finishes at 24.8 in P4.
24.8. That's about the lap I did in my quality. So.
It's a lot of potential.
I'm never going to be as quick as these guys. Look, I'm okay with that. I'd rather commentate. These guys are so good at commentators. It's really awesome. And apologies if I do cut across you, Alex. I will try and get used to commentating with a co-commentator. I really like having someone else to talk to. Obviously, it's a bit it's nicer than having to do it on your own. But which is what I'm used to. So yeah, it might be
problem.
A little bit of an adjustment. But anyway, we'll see. Just is just starting a lap. So Just, our pole sitter from Australia last week. didn't look like the fastest turn 1 and 2 through there, so we'll have to see what his first sector split is. His best lap's only a 24.9 so far. See what he gets here. He's up at 10th and a half. So
Ferreira has got a purple in second sector. I mean, it's what at least.
Yeah, just had a big lock up into turn 8. Unfortunately, would have lost a lot of time there. And Ryan has joined the session just before and retired, so he's opting not to set a lap time.
24/7 for Ferreira.
24/7 for Ferreira. Well done to him. He's been strong in that Renault. We'll show the standings in a minute, but he's currently P2 in the standings. He's Ferreira, so he's been a solid driver all season.
Yeah, super solid driver, not getting any warnings for
he's really
a lot
good
of races.
Yeah.
So
reminds me of someone else. Anyway, Just has improved again in the second sector. He's up nearly 3/10, which would put him about P3 or 4 at the moment. So let's see as he comes across the line. It is P3 with 24.6. So decent lap from him.
Swaggy
quickly replaces him in P3 though. And that is extremely tight, isn't it, with Lars and Swaggy between the... oh, here we go. My remote player's decided to shit itself. Apologies for that. We'll get it reconnected very quickly.
Well, that's basically what we're expecting, like close gaps and some real good racing. Usually this truck delivers good racing in real life as well. So
yeah, looking forward to the Grand Prix later.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we go. So, should be back now. Alright. Let's go full screen on that bad boy. Okay, and then I have to choose the application in OBS again for some reason. I'm not quite sure. That's not very intuitive. Okay. There we go. Apologies for that little interruption. Yeah. Hopefully no damage done. Dario, P2 with a 24.4, so it is heating up at the top. This is about the time you probably want to be getting your second last run in the bank before heading into the pits for a final run. There's not much more time left to do that. Duncan, is he on a lap? No. I'm just going to flick through here. Apologies. Raz, no. Cohen, no. Yeah, no one's on a lap at the moment. So, as I said, half the guys in the pits and the rest probably getting back to the pits to go out on their final runs. So, little breather.
Yeah. 2 Italian drivers locking up the first row.
Yeah.
No.
Very, very good. Forza Italia. Know a little bit of Italian, but that's about it. Alright, let us know in the comments if you are watching along if our volume and stuff is alright. Let me know if I'm too loud or you want to hear more audio or Marco's too quiet or something. I'm not quite sure, so yeah, let us know.
Yeah, exactly. Give us just feedback about it.
Yeah, it looks alright though. I think we're both hitting max volume on the stream, so looks alright. Let us know though if anything needs adjusting, and of course let us know in the live chat about your predictions for this one as well. Be interesting.
Well, seeing the results from the previous races, it looks like someone should bet against Domi, isn't it? Like, he's won every single race, so let's see if someone is bold enough to bet against him.
Yeah, he's a difficult man to stop in. The form he's been on this season. He's won 5 of the 7 races so far. The only other race winners we've had was at round 1, and that was Midnight, who unfortunately is out of this session. I'm not quite sure why. But Midnight won that race. And it would have been Domi had it not been for a last lap puncher as well, so he could have had 6 wins. And then our other race winner was VSR Duncan, and that was at Monza, and that was a battle with Domi as well, who was P2 in that race. So Domi's always in the hunt, as you might expect actually, because he's basically Esports pace being the reserve driver for Huss F1 Esports, I believe. So very, very talented driver. Difficult man to stop. Drivers are coming out now for their final runs there. As you can see, the Red Bull and McLaren out. Lars out. Who's going to be the first to start their lap? Let's have a look.
I think the AlphaTauris are gonna play a bit with their slipstream because they're really close for each other.
Yeah, looks like it. Joey's actually the first one to start a lap, so we'll go on board with him. He's set a 25.0 so far. All the top 10 in the 24s, so comfortably in the 24s as well. GeForce Crime with that 24.8 in 10th place at the moment. Such is the pace of these guys. Audio seems fine. Thank you, Mr. Rhythms. I appreciate you. Alright, up to the first sector. He's only just up on his time, so Joey will need a big push. He's very tight line through turn 7. Not to use much of the track there. Down to turn 10. This apex nicely, maybe a little bit curb. I'm quite sure if it's quicker to take curb there or go completely around it. It seems about the same if you get both lines right. Missed the apex ever so slightly there, and wow, must have a lot of downforce on that car because oversteered.
Down.
He's 2 tenths down, is he?
Yes.
Swaggy's giving him a little bit of a tow at the moment. There's 30 seconds left in this session. He'll get a nice little tow from Cohen, who didn't opt to get out of the way. Probably smart as well. Up to the line, and he improves by 2 tenths, so he goes P10. That is about it. So let's go and watch Domi, see if he can take pole position or improve on that insane time of 24.3. Everyone now either on a lap or has completed a lap. Big lock up into turn 4, short shifts from 3rd to 4th, lots of curb there. Entry in the first sector, he's actually down nearly 8/100ths. Uses every inch of track there into turn 8. Even first gear there at turn 8 momentarily before the double shift to 3rd. Down into turn 10. First gear there as well, double upshift. Seems to be the quickest way, that first gear double upshift. There's 3 corners where you want to do it in this track. Turn 1, 8 and 10.
Wait for Duncan though, he's matching lap times. Domi's lap times, so...
Domi invalidated on the exit of turn 11, just pushing too hard, and Duncan coming across the line, he's done it! A 24.3, 6.4, 3 1,000ths quicker than VSR Domi, who invalidated, so Duncan takes provisional pole for now. Can Dario snatch it? He can't. Didn't improve in the end, down 6/100ths, and just improved and went P4. What Swaggy got comes across the line, and it's gone P3 with a 24.42, improved by just over 10, so Ferreira replaces him. Wow, it's all going on. This reminds me of the real life qualifying last night. It was very entertaining. But that has been qualifying. We'll get our full results in a moment. There was a lot of shuffling around there between the drivers late in the session. But VSR Duncan, by 3 1,000ths of a second over Domi, has pole position. Let's see if we get a ding-dong battle between those guys. Ferreira as well, only 5 100ths back. That's insane. Swaggy, wow. Look at the gaps. The gap between Ferreira and Swaggy is 1 1,000th. So we've got 3 1,000ths between the top 2, 1 1,000th between the next 2, and then Dario is only a 100th behind that, just only a 10th back from pole. Lars right there as well. This insane, these guys.
And in generally 13 drivers in less than half a second.
Crazy.
It's
yeah. What a qualifying session that was. I think that was probably the closest one we've had. So really good quality. Alright, we move on to the Grand Prix. This is about the time where the drivers choose their selected strategy for the race and whatnot, and there's the time we actually have a look at the standings. So we're going to do that right now. And there they are on your screen. So VSR Domi, as you can see there, he's 5 race wins gives him a 74-point lead in the championship over WSO Ferreira. Ferreira, in contrast, only has 2 podiums. And he's kind of just been the Mr. Consistent, apart from Domi, of course, of the field, and picked up good points throughout every race. He's not really had a bad race. Lowest finish is P9. So GeForce Crichton as well, making his way towards the top, currently P3 on 71 points. Then we got Dario Midnight Duncan, who of course is new. Those NAs on the screen for the first 4 races. Duncan wasn't with us. So he's only been with us 3 races, and he's got 2 podiums, including a win in that time. He's already P6 in the championship. So expect him to continue to make his way up there and challenge. I'm not quite sure if he'll have the races left in hand to challenge Domi, but he's certainly going to push him for race wins, I think, judging by the races we've had so far with him. Who else we've got? Just finally getting some good results. Podium in the last 2 races, so Just is making his way up as well. Mathis has retired, so Asacom is the next driver, and then we've got reserve driver Ace in actually the top 10, so good to see him. Rasavosi, who was VER Timon, probably not the season he would have hoped for. He's capable of much better results than we've seen from him so far. And we've got Lars Ford Louis, who hasn't raced the last 3. He's actually got some wheel issues, so and it's good to have Vapor North back as well, who we haven't seen in a little while. Anyway, we'll move to the Constructors. That is your championship drivers' standings. We'll move quickly to the Constructors if the button works. There we go. So Haas with Domi's dominance so far in the lead of the Constructors as well. Joey, not too shabby himself, getting some points. And Alfa Romeo. So Duncan's joined the Alfa Romeo team, which is the one Mathis left. So Mathis points still count for Alfa Romeo, and they've picked up Duncan as well. So it's not too far off us. So we'll have to see. And that's a strong driver lineup as well with Midnight. So we'll have to see if those 2 teams can battle it out for the rest of the season. Red Bull and Renault are pretty close for P3, and Mercedes as well. Then we have a bit of a gap for P6, which is McLaren, and then Ferrari, AlphaTauri, Racing Point, and Williams yet to score. Jordan not on the grid again, and the other Williams spot is available if anyone watching wants a seat and can match these guys for pace, crucially. But the drivers are lining back up on the grid now. We're getting set for the start of the Bahrain Grand Prix. If we can get a decent camera angle, that would be very much appreciated, Codemasters. Oh, they're going to do us dirty here. There we go. Alright, lights are on. We've got 5 red lights. Oh, there was a jump by McLaren. Who was that?
Lars.
It was Lars, so he'll have a drive-through for that. Anyway, into turn 1. Domi was challenging Duncan. Lars has left the session, so that's a bit of a rage quit. You don't like to see that, to be honest. So he is disconnected. Disconnected car will be driving. Oh, and there's an AlphaTauri around, and it's RS LRB, our reserve driver. They all through turn 4, and Duncan leaves him from Ferreira, who's got past. Ferreira's got past Domi, and then Dario, G4 Swaggy with a good start as well. Just Asacom. Then the 2 racing points of Cohen and Vapor North. And we've got GeForce Crichton. He's had not the best start, but he's starting on mediums. We'll get the tyres up in just momentarily as Rasavosi runs very wide in turn 10. Ryan's going to try and make a move up the inside of him. We're right on board with the Williams. Well, I nearly said Mercedes, but not quite getting it done there. Midnight as well. He's gone for the hard tyres, so has Joey. Lars with the soft, and Ras with the hards as well. And it's Cohen. He's got an overtake done there on Asacom. So Cohen through to P7 before the final corner. So caught Asacom off guard a little bit there. Duncan with a P slap, as you might expect. I'm wondering if Ferreira might be having a little look on him. He did have a little look. Oh, and he's... Duncan, he just psyched him out of the apex there a little bit. Oh, and that's going to be a big cut. That'll be a warning for Ferreira. He doesn't want to get too many of those. He usually keeps it clean. Up to turn 4. All the cars line astern as they usually are on the opening laps. Good to see the third lap glitch is gone. Has it?
No, it's not.
No, it's not
But
gone.
still.
Okay. And Midnight's got around Ryan. Meanwhile, let's have a look at. We'll have a look at position change first. And you can see there Ferreira getting ahead of Domi, moving up one. Dario ahead of Swagger, moving up one. Cohen up 3. Great stuff from the Racing Point. Crichton up 2. Midnight and Ryan up 3 as well. And Lars, of course, big loser, but he's out of the race. His car is not there. All right, there's your tyres. So the top 9 all on softs. GeForce Crichton is the first alternate runner on the mediums. So he'll want to stick with these guys and make sure he gets in the DRS. And then we have Rasavosi just outside the DRS of Crichton. Crucially, yeah, it would be huge if he could stick in the DRS train on hards. He's just on the edge of it at the moment. He's in it now. So we've got everyone down to Joey in P14 in this DRS train so far, and then we have LRB for 5 seconds back after that lap 1 spin. But what a opening to the Grand Prix. It's been very clean from these guys. Ferreira and Duncan. Good to see Ferreira battling up here as well, showing that he does have the pace that his P2 in the championship says he does.
Yeah, and right now we're watching like Rasavosi, who's lost the 1 second gap.
He has
and
two, and he's got passed.
Oh, he's lost it. Oh my, that's an instant curse. Like
that is a commentator's curse. He nearly his teammate had to take avoiding action there to avoiding.
Yeah.
But it looks like his nose is clean. It doesn't look like there's any damage on the AlphaTauri, so his race is still
That's
on. Crucially, but we'll go back to the front. That's a real shame for Ras. I'm not quite sure what to call him actually. There's 2 Ras drivers. I'll just call him Avosi.
Yeah. And the Ascom goes really wide.
Ascom did go wide, and Vapor North got through as well. So that's both racing points past Ascom now.
It's looking good for GeForce Crichton at the moment, sticking with the DRS. And
yeah, absolutely. And Vapor North is actually out of DRS, so Ascom might... Domi, is he? Have a look.
Oh, they're side by side.
Side by side. Great respect from these drivers as well. Not only are they extremely fast, they race so clean. And it's
look at Domi now.
Goes
on the inside.
Trying to get this move done on the Renault of Ferreira. They're still side by side going into turn 6. And he gets it done. Makes it stick indeed. So that is P2. Job done for Domi.
Yeah, I think Domi now needs to push. Like in the first few laps, you'd better be behind the other cars, but now if you have some pace, you really need to get the track position. So let's see if he wants to make a move on Duncan as well.
Yeah, I think a move, at least an attempt to move on Duncan is inevitable. It's very hard though once you make a pass, if you don't have DRS. To kind of pull away. I found that in our race. Is Dario going to have a look? He is! Dario had a look in the last corner on Ferreira, so Ferreira's dropped another position here, and they've both got DRS, so that's going to stick. So, very opportunistic move there from Dario as Vapor North goes. And Domi going to have a look already, is he? No, Duncan.
Oh, Dario on the inside of Domi.
No.
That was kind of late.
I kind of missed it, yeah.
No, all good, but like he went on the inside, but then he decided not to go for the move wisely.
Yep. No penalties thus far. It's not really a track where penalties are a factor. It's one of the easier tracks to keep clean in terms of penalties. You're only really concerned about well, the apex of turn 2 and 3, and also the exit of turn 12 and 13. They're probably the few places you can invalidate, but it's quite easy to keep the car within the track limits there. So don't expect too many of these guys, given their high skill level, to pick up penalties in this race.
Yeah, that's why getting a penalty will be even.
Yeah, given how close everyone is, it's
exactly.
race ender really. Oh, not ender, but, you know, it will drop you down the order. Asicom's dropped out of DRS, and Crichton is in his DRS. So in a way, Asicom dropping has hurt Crichton because he was. Oh, we got a. I thought Dario was pitting already. It would have been extremely early end of lap 5. But Tommy is biding his time. There we go. Ryan actually does pick up a penalty on lap 6. So. Unexpected.
Oh, Midnight went really, really wide on the exit of turn 1.
Good to see Swaggy sticking with these top guys as well, showing his pace. Very talented driver on his day. Swaggy runs wide there. Just as I say, I'm not going to mention these guys because I'm just going to curse them, because Juice is all over the back of Swaggy. Yeah,
I don't think any of the drivers is actually on a overtake mode, like in terms of racing. I think they want to just stick with the DRS, not losing a lot towards the
Yeah, you're right. Just is like 90% battery right now. Swaggy's a bit less. Ferreira's got quite a bit. Dario is probably the one that's been using a bit more, and that was probably to get a move done on Ferreira on this straight they're just entering now. Good to have a driver. Good to have a grid of 16 drivers.
Oh, and Dario's trying to overtake Duncan for P1.
Domi, he's done it.
Domi, sorry, yeah.
Into the lead. So Duncan, I'm not sure if he quite. See if he comes back at him. Who's going to have DRS here? I think it's Duncan. So Duncan's going to have the DRS. Domi is going to need to use his battery now to defend. No, he's not really. And Duncan's going to have. Look, is he? Ooh, very tight. So close. But yeah, Tommy holds it. So can he pull away now? It's so difficult once you make a move. If you don't have DRS on another driver to pull away, because the DRS is just so powerful at Bahrain. It's worth, in lap times terms, I would say easily half a second. So unless you're more than half a second quicker than the car behind, which I don't think Tommy is, even though given how rapid he is. But yeah, you're not gonna gap the car behind.
Looks like there's some kind of gentleman agreement between the drivers, because no one of them, apart from the main straight, they're using ERS. So they just wanna stick together.
Yeah, they're very patient.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe Duncan and Ferreira have a more advantage because they have kind of 15-20% more compared to Domi and Dario, but still looking good.
So we've still got the top 6 in the DRS train. Cohen has just dropped outside. Are we going to see any pit stops then? Duncan's going for the move into turn 1 on Domi, so wants to take that lead straight back, does the Alfa Romeo driver. But Domi defends quite well. Left the space for him as well. And Justin Swaggy. Oh, Justin's got past, so that's the Red Bull up in P5 now. So just needs to get a move on, because he's actually dropped out of the DRS of 4th place, Ferreira, so it's crucial this. And yellow flag, race of Bossi is retired. Is that going to be a safety car? Migrating host. Oh yeah, he's the host, isn't he? So where's he binned it? There he is. He's binned it there. Quite short.
Well, no, the car is still running, by the way. No.
Okay, so he actually didn't retire, he just crashed. It's unfortunate for him. He's still got that yellow flag. The car's still going.
No, it stops on track.
Stopped now. Okay.
Yeah.
hopefully that's not a safety car because we are having a really good Grand Prix here. And yep, we're all back to green now, so that's good. Are we going to see pit stops this lap? I think we might. Who's going to blink first? I think maybe Swaggy's going to do it. Maybe Just as well. And Dommy's actually in, so are they all in? They are. Oh, Pereira's kept going. I think that's a mistake. I think you've got to stick with the DRS train, hold your position. So is this going to cost the Renault driver? The other guys in the pits. Just is in, Swag is in. I think Just and Swaggy, even Cohen maybe, are going to jump Ferreira. So undercut's worth probably a second. Ryan's retired from the session as well in the pit lane. Does the right thing there, thank you.
Yeah, if Ferreira wants it to make it work, he needs to really use all of his ERS. Otherwise,
exactly.
Otherwise, he's gonna get jumped. He's lost already 3 attempts compared to GeForce Crichton in P2.
Yeah, the ninth lap on the softs is really uncomfortable. Like the drop off from lap 8 to lap 9 is mega. Like it's huge. You're sliding everywhere, and it's just not worth it.
Yeah, I realized it in our race.
Yeah, I was even sliding around on lap 8. So yeah. We should have maybe better communication for our strategy there. I think one of us should have boxed the lap before, but all good. We still got a good result. Anyway, I'm really interested to see where Ferreira comes out once he pits here.
Yeah, especially because Tommy and Dario had to overtake LRB. So I think they've lost some time on traffic. Let's see.
Yeah, so the Renault is in the pits.
Duncan is on softs again. Duncan is going for the 2-stopper.
Is he? Oh wow!
Yes, he is.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Duncan is gonna go soft medium, I guess.
Wow, maybe he made a mistake. Could he have made a mistake?
Oh, could be. I mean, if you know you have the pace, maybe a 2-stopper is always an option because I mean you're gonna have the best tire in any case, but. It needs to really push a lot right now because...
Well, yeah, Dommy's out of DRS on him now, so 1.5 seconds is the gap because obviously he expects fresh softs to be much quicker than fresh hards, and now he sets a purple first sector. So yeah, very interesting strategy. I wonder if it's intentional or a mistake. There's a yellow flag. That's just... LRB's car coming out of the pits after he retired. So look at the gap now, nearly 2 seconds. So the soft tyres, he's making them work.
Yeah, he needs to cover a gap of at least 8-9 seconds before pitting again. If he does so, then he has a chance. I mean, he will have to overtake a lot of cars, of course, because he will be in traffic, but it will have the pace advantage for sure. So
yeah, really interesting. I'm glad we got someone doing something different. It's kind of broken the DRS train though. So Dario's still in DRS. Dominic Ferreira, as I suspected, got undercut massively by Dominic Duncan and Dario. And he's 2.5 seconds behind Dario now. So I think he will be having regrets, Will Ferreira, about not following those guys into the pits. Just has caught him actually, so Just is now in Ferreira's DRS, and we've got Cohen on softs as well. So racing point.
And he's trying to overtake Just.
He is too, and he's done it. You would expect him to be able to do that fairly easily, given the tyre differential there. So Just probably wisely doesn't put up too much of a fight there to the racing point. But yeah, nice to see a few guys on different strategy. And Just actually picked up a penalty there on the exit of turn 7, I think that was. So he's the first driver, or I think Ryan picked up a penalty, but he's since retired.
Well, from the ones who are still racing, yeah, he's the first one.
Yeah, just that penalty picked up last week at Australia. It cost him the race win, unfortunately. I'm really sorry about that because I gave him an instant commentator's curse on that occasion, and I was quite disappointed. But yeah, He's not really in the mix for the race win at the moment for this one, and penalties gonna hurt him as well. He's got Swaggy all over the back of him. So just has lost so much time compared to Cohen because of the tyre differential. And Cohen's going to go for the move on Ferreira. Easily past him down the pit straight. Duncan's gap between him and Domi is now 3.8 seconds, so he needs to get a pit stop advantage. Well, not quite a whole one, because he will have tyre advantage on his next stint as well with the mediums. I assume, and Cohen picks up a penalty as well. That was on the exit of turn 4, where the drivers in real life actually at Bahrain have been told and Just has left the session. Do you want to quickly invite Just back?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's a shame. I think he just disconnected. I don't think he actually left the session or retired or anything. That's really unfortunate for him. So hopefully he can rejoin quickly. Crichton doing a good job though. Holding off Midnight. Well, you probably expect him to be there, given him he's on the mediums, and he's in the pits.
Yeah, I was about to talk about Midnight because he's a serious candidate for the win now because you stick with the DRS train for the whole race, and he's gonna have a big pace advantage towards the end.
Yeah, that's true.
So let's keep an eye on him.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he goes hard mediums or hard softs as well. Yeah, I guess it'll depend on his tyre wear, how he thinks his pace is. But Crichton comes out behind Vapornorth, so Vapornorth on 2-lap old tyres, so he's actually jumped Juice as Crichton, but Juice of course disconnected. Did we get that invite to him?
Yeah, I sent one.
Okay, hopefully he rejoins, but yeah, bad luck for the Red Bull driver. He has been on good form, 2 podiums in the last 2 races.
Yeah.
G'day Roscoe, thanks for joining the stream, mate. I can hear both of us loud and clear, so that is good news, and he's happy I've got a co-commentator. So yeah, so am I, mate. It is very nice to be able to talk to someone.
And now Duncan is all over Joey, of course with new tires, but he really needs to overtake him as soon as he can. Yeah,
Joey's going to get free DRS though from Lars's disconnected car. So it might be made that much harder for Duncan because of that. He might have to use a bit more battery than he would like.
I think Joey gave way.
Oh, Joey's actually gave way, so good of him, to say the least. And also surprising, given that Joey is actually Domi's teammate, and maybe Domi would be like, wow, my teammate just let the guy I'm battling for the win go. So interesting there. Those two obviously friends. Let's be honest, Domi does need help. He's a one-man machine. Fastest first sector for Duncan as well with DRS. So can he beat his own fastest lap here?
I think he will, because he's getting a lot compared to Domi as well. Now the gap is almost 6 seconds.
6 seconds, yeah. He probably. How long's he been on those tyres? 4 laps. Yeah, they're gonna be a lot quicker than the hards for a good 6 laps, and I think around then they'll start falling off.
Yeah, I think it should be pitting like lap 16 or 17 at the latest.
Yeah, he's using a little bit of overtake on corner exit. Cohen another penalty, so that's 2. Not loving life is the Racing Point driver, and Vapornorth, his teammate, picks up a penalty as well. So maybe what I said earlier about penalties wasn't 100% correct, but these guys pushing pretty hard.
Yeah, that's the bad thing about the alternate strategy that Cohen and Duncan are doing, because you really need to push every single lap. It's not a conservative strategy. Yeah. So you need to overtake people and pushing a lot, so maybe some warnings, can always happen, getting some warnings and stuff.
Yeah, very true. You're right about Midnight though. I'm really keen to see where he comes out. So both, it's Alfa Romeo 1-2 at the moment. Both guys still have a pit stop as well. And they'll both be pitting onto the medium tyre, you would suspect, or maybe Midnight might stretch it and go to soft. But if that's the case, these two are teammates. They might have to. I'm not sure if they communicate with each other, but they might have to work with each other a bit, having for that last pit stop they both need to make.
Yeah, maybe Duncan can get through and give Midnight some slipstream and some DRS to help him if they're talking for each other.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if Duncan is actually going to make up that 5 seconds though.
Yeah, that's true.
He'll be he'll need to be very quick to do that. He's closing slightly, but I think this is about the lap here where the softs really start to kind of, their pace kind of evaporates. And yeah, I think the hard runners will probably be a little bit quicker. We got a pass here actually as Ferreira goes past Cohen. As I was saying there,
Paperknut and P9 Escom lost a position as well.
Yeah, so that's Vaporknut around Asicom. Asicom penalty free. Vapor's got 1. But yeah, that's just proved what I was saying there with Ferreira passing Cohen. Cohen on 6 lap old soft, so this is probably where the hards will big slide there for Ferreira. Lucky not to bin it there. God, I hate that curb on the exit of turn 7. It's just so unrealistic. You see the drivers in real life straddle it and use every inch of it nearly, and then you go on it in this game, and it just sends the car out of control nearly every time. So anyway, that big bump in it as well can really wreck you. Duncan is still slowly closing in on Midnight. 4.6 seconds, so 4/10 in this last lap. Bit of a lull in terms of on-track battling, and that's because we've got so many split strategies, and Duncan takes the lead because Midnight's in, so he's going to go mediums. So that is one of the questions answered, whether Midnight would go hard to medium or hard to soft.
Yeah, I think it's the best decision, to be honest, because if you stay a bit longer on hards, you're gonna be stuck. I mean, now Midnight rejoins in P10. I think he could have been much further if he stayed a bit longer on hards. I mean, softs are better than mediums, but track position is still a thing. So
yeah, and he's essentially in the DRS train as Crichton. Sorry, I couldn't get it out. Crichton was going for a move there on Asicom into turn 4, just riding on board with. Midnight spotted that up the road, and those two battling. Asicom will need to pit again. I would assume he's on 8 lap old mediums.
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, I'm not quite sure what strategy he's on. Do you want to have a look at the race director and see what he's done so far, Asicom?
Yep, but I think the only ones who need to stop are only Duncan and Ascom. Yeah, Ascom pitted on lap 8, so he's gonna pit again, definitely. Yeah,
Midnight's gonna make short work of Crichton here into turn. Crichton tries to close the door though on Midnight into turn 13, and big lock up there from Crichton. This is going to be an easy overtake there for Midnight on those fresh softs. They're both going to have DRS though. It's going to be a drag race. Who's got the slipstream actually? They're neck and neck. Because I think Crichton's got the slipstream from Asicom, but Midnight's gone so deep to take that position and he gets it done. So Midnight ups at P8. He had to get that move done and not lose too much time to Asicom, and he's still right there with him. So we'll go back to the front because Dario's got past Joey.
Duncan has pitted again, by the way.
Duncan has pitted. Where did he come out? He's come out P10. Right, so I gotta say, I don't think that strategy's worked. In fact, I think Midnight has he's got a much better strategy, and he's making moves as well as Midnight. So he's gone past Asacom.
Yeah.
So next on his list is Vapornuff, 1.5 seconds up the road, but Duncan essentially on the same strategy as his Alfa Romeo teammate, and he's probably about 5 seconds behind him.
Well, yeah, he's 4 seconds behind, but I mean, he pitted he pitted twice.
Later, yeah.
So yeah, exactly. So let's see what he can do. But it's not looking good for the odd runners now because Midnight will be blistering fast.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if he's going to catch like 8 seconds to Domi and Dario though. We'll have to see. Joey is clearly doing the Oh, what happened to Crichton?
Oh, what's happened with Crichton?
What happened to Crichton? I have no idea what happened. What's going on?
His wing is broken. And he goes to the pits. I think he had contact with Asacom.
Asacom is in the pits. I'm not quite sure why.
Yeah. I think Asacom wanted to go to the pits, and maybe Crichton was going on the inside, like trying to overtake, and then Asacom turned right to go to the pits. That's the only option because it's really weird part of the track where you can.
And Midnight gets past Swaggy, so Midnight up to P6 now, and Vapor North actually got past Swaggy as well before because Swaggy's running.
Joey will go on softs, by the way.
Yeah, I was trying to mention Joey before what happened with Crichton, but anyway. So good battle with these guys.
Wow, Dario is really trying to stick with Domi, but Domi has 63% of ERS and Dario's just got 6%.
Joey's in the pits to get his soft tyres on.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, he goes on softs. And now Midnight again on Ferreira, on Vapor, and it's P4 for him.
Yeah,
watch out.
Move. That was coming. So Midnight up to P4. Next in his sights is Ferreira. So 4.4 seconds, I think. He'll make pretty short work of that. I maybe expect him on his tail within 3 or 4 laps, I reckon.
Yeah, and let's actually see, because Midnight, it's the first lap he has when, without any driver in front. Exactly. Yeah. So let's see how much he can gain. He's in the fight for a podium for sure, but who knows? I think Dario is actually sticking with Domi with DRS. Oh, someone spun.
It's a racing point. It's Cohen. So Cohen, he's got wing damage too. There's no end plate on the right side there of the racing point. So he's had a big moment, and I'd hazard a guess that it was on that bloody curb on the exit of turn 7. So, yeah, I was only just talking about it a moment ago, and it's caught Cohen out there. It's a bloody awful curb, that one.
True.
I try to avoid it at all costs. And any time I can't and I have to run wide there, I'm bloody gritting my teeth. Or, you know, praying that I don't get spat out by the curb into the wall, because that's what can happen through no fault of your own, except for actually using the curb. Seems inconsistent at times as well. But yeah, Dario, you're right, is sticking with, he's got a bit more battery to play with now. Being in that DRS is going to help him a lot, as well as Juice and Crichton are battling, and Crichton gets past. And is Juice disconnected? He is, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's still ghosting, yeah.
He never rejoined, unfortunately.
Crichton gets P10 because of
anyway, so Midnight 3.3 seconds from Ferreira now, so slowly catching. Yeah,
Midnight is gaining like 5 or 6 attempts per lap, more or less, compared to Ferreira.
He's not catching at kind of the rate I thought he might, though. So I said 3 or 4 laps, and he's been 2 laps, and he's only caught a second. So, yeah, those hard tyres are still decent.
Yeah, but let's remember, I mean, Dario really dived into the pits really early on lap 6. So, let's see, because maybe Midnight is just handling the tires, cruising the tires a bit. Oh, and Duncan fighting with Swaggy.
And he gets a gun. So Duncan through. So I think Duncan might have some regrets over his strategy. I think he definitely should have done the soft hard. But maybe he just wanted to do something different, test it out, see how it works out. Joey with a 3-second penalty. Just set the fastest lap a moment ago, did Joey. So taking home the bonus point for that. I don't suspect... Oh, maybe Cohen actually, because Cohen just pitted as well. Just is in the piss, but he's disconnected. I keep forgetting.
Duncan again on Vapor. Let's see if he wants to make a move in the second DRS zone. No, he can't.
I thought he might. It's a difficult place to send it there. Because the turn-in is so early for turn 11, like it's kind of as you're braking. So wisely, Duncan is a bit patient here. It's going to be an easy overtake for him on the pit straight, so coming up to the final corner there. Amazing how late these guys brake and not lock up. It's insane. And here we go. So Alfa Romeo easily up the inside, and Swaggy might have a look as well. That's right on board, and he does. So Vapor has to leave him room. There's a little bit of contact. Oh, there's not much room left there by the racing point, and I think that's all just about fair enough. Swaggy thought he might be a bit opportunistic there and try and sneak one on the inside as well as Duncan was making the move on Vapor.
Yeah, I think Swaggy realized Vapor has got a penalty, so didn't want to push a lot in the second DRS zone. And Midnight is actually 1.3 seconds away, so we'll get DRS, I think, in the main straight.
Yeah, 1.3, you're right. So Cohen says fast lap now, so he'll be taking home the bonus points. Hopefully he finishes the race, otherwise he won't get those points. Yeah, you're right. Oh, yep, the gap is coming down. It's going to be under a second. It's going to be really close. I think
Nice now.
Ferreira used some of his battery there to make sure Midnight actually didn't get DRS there. It's very smart. So you can see there's Coleman picks up another penalty. Ooh, it's starting to glitch a little bit, I think, on the stream. So hopefully my remote play hangs in there. Looks all good. Yeah, if it disconnects, I will connect it back as quickly as I can. That looks all fine now. So Midnight still not within that DRS zone. You'd expect him to be there on by the end of this lap up.
Yeah, Ferreira has a small advantage in terms of battery, so I think he played with it on the detection zone. Yeah, but now look at the second sector. Now it's like Midnight is gaining a lot in the second sector right now. He has DRS at the moment, for sure. Yes, he has.
As Domi and Dario go past into turn 11, here come P3 and 4, Ferreira and Midnight, and I think this is going to be a short-lived podium position for the Renault. Oh, it was Crichton and Vapornorth both pick up penalties at the same time, and they're not close on track either there. Quite separated. Here we go. I think we're going to see an overtake for P3. Midnight doesn't have a lot of battery to play with.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult for him.
He's not using the battery. Maybe he just wants to charge up for a lap using DRS. Or maybe he won't.
Yeah, maybe he's realizing... Yeah, I think he's basically realizing he cannot go better than P3 in this race. So he said, okay, let's just save some battery now, get this P3, and rather than gambling on it, trying to go for a P2, which looks kind of impossible, to be honest.
Yeah, Dario, I think he's out of reach. 6 seconds ahead of Pereira now. Be interesting to see if Dario is actually going to try and take the win off Domi as well in the latter stages of the race, whether he's kind of biding his time there in P2 in the DRS. It's very impressive that he can even stick with Domi. Dario is no slouch himself, of course, but those two guys being the class of the field today, Duncan probably would have been. He would have been in the mix. Duncan had he done the soft hard strategy like those two guys. So I wonder if he actually made a mistake somehow. And
but actually, I mean, if I was Midnight, you need to be careful of Duncan as well, because as long as you are behind Ferreira, Duncan is gonna gain and gain and gain. So he needs to make a move now, because I mean Duncan is fighting for P4 at the moment. He's just 3 seconds away with 4 laps remaining. So I don't know. It's
it's going to be a nail-biting finish, which is what we like. Only 3 laps left. We're on lap 26 of 29 here, the Bahrain International Circuit. And of course, the real F1 drivers will be here later on. There's an F2 race going on in a little while as well. So I'll probably be jumping off this stream and going and switch that on after this. But yeah, Midnight, he does need to get a hurry on and try and get past Ferreira, who so far has done a good job of defending. I haven't really mentioned that. But it is, if you play your cards right, manage your ERS and fuel, to be more specific about those cards, you can actually defend quite effectively around here. DRS is extremely powerful though, but those medium tyres, 8 laps old now, probably no doubt they've seen the best of those. I'm not quite sure at what point that the old hards, the 15 lap old hards and 8 lap old mediums actually become quite even, but we're going to ride on board here with Midnight. It's not close enough. So again, Ferreira did an exceptional job, and all the while, VSR Duncan is closing.
Yeah, I was watching Domi actually, and he's starting to use his battery.
Yeah.
Right now, which makes it quite difficult for Dario to stick with him, but he's managing it for the moment.
Huge lock up there from Midnight into turn 8. I definitely consider that a mistake, as Azicom picks up a 3-second time penalty. So yeah, I really want to know what happened there with Azicom and Crichton on the pit lane entry. That was really bizarre.
Yeah.
Because both guys were in a decent position. They're still in a decent position inside the top 10, gonna score points, but they lost considerable time in that, and people like Joey were able to get ahead as Pereira there on the exit of turn 13 had a bit of oversteer moment, and Midnight, that's actually helped Midnight because he's a lot closer this time round. Can he finally get this move done?
Yeah, he will. He's got more ERS. Let's see.
He's not using it though. He's using it now. He's trying not to use much. He's trying to just make the DRS.
Oh, look at the switchback.
Switchback could be on, but who's going to have DRS here? That's going to be crucial.
It's going to be Ferreira.
The DRS, but Midnight held it. So that is a move for podium position by Midnight. So he gets himself on the podium. Just his disconnected car is up here as well as Ascom gets past him. Joey's actually pitted again. Quite sure why. He's
maybe he wants to. maybe he saw he was not gaining a lot. I mean, not losing many positions and trying to go for the fastest lap again. Maybe because he was in P8. So.
And Duncan's now got DRS on Pereira as well. So if Midnight pulls a gap, it's really going to help his teammate Duncan to get past as well. And there's only going to be one more lap after this one. So that's one more run down into turn 1.
That's the last chance, basically.
Yeah, it is. Well, turn 4. And Duncan's using every bit of battery. Pereira's going to stick in DRS, crucially for him. Domi, he's going to win, I think, because Dario's not close enough. 7/10 is not going to get it done. And both guys draining their battery here on the last lap. So Domi's looking to go on another win streak here.
Yeah, and I'm kind of supposing they were communicating for each other, because for Dario was, I mean, what saved Dario's race was sticking behind Domi, and Domi wasn't even using a lot of battery during the race. So maybe they were kind of agreeing on not fighting each other.
Look at the black marks on the track there as we went through turn 8.
Yeah.
Right on board with Midnight. Look at that. It's just a black patch before the apex. It's quite funny. Oh, and Ferreira's out of DRS, and Duncan's only 4/10 behind. It still could be on this move for Duncan. He's got DRS here. One more lap, and Ferreira would have been in big trouble. He would have had it done as well, for sure.
Yeah.
But could come down to that last straight after turn 12. Dario is actually closed in on Domi, runs wide off the circuit, but probably won't get a warning for that. Is Duncan going to go for a move? Not close enough. So Ferreira hangs on for P4.
Domi wins.
Domi wins the Bahrain Grand Prix. Amazing drive from him. I think Duncan might have some regrets over the strategy. I'm not sure if it was a mistake or not, but yeah, it would have been good to see him battle with those two at the front. Midnight with a strong drive through the pack on the alternate strategy takes P3. Well done to him. Dario, solid P2, of course. Ferreira held on. Yeah, one more lap and he would have got... Duncan would have got him, I think, but held on in the end. Duncan, P5, what could have been for him? He was battling Domi for the win, so yeah, I think he would have at least had P3, if not P2, not possibly even the win. So
Joey gets the fastest lap.
Yeah, fastest lap for Joey, but probably the wrong call when he looks back on it for Duncan. Swaggy, a solid P6. Well done to him. His best finish of the season. Vapor North as well with a solid result in P7. Asicom P8. Joey P9. I'm quite sure why he pitted to get that extra point. He ended up on the same amount of points he would have been if he had not pitted anyway, so I guess it's just what do you prefer? Yeah. And driver of the day, definitely agree with that. Midnight.
Yeah,
charged
fully deserved. Fully deserved.
So Domi picks up his sixth win. That's right, 6 out of 8 races this man has won for Haas. He is, in a word, dominant in RS1 this season. Not to say he hasn't been challenged this season, but yeah, we're yet to see him have really a runaway victory. He's been challenged in every race, which is good to see, but just always seems to be in the right place to get the victories. So, yeah, well done to him.
Yeah, he always looks like he has everything under control, you know. So, really, really good race from him. Yeah,
double Italian, Italian 1-2 there. Midnight P3, Ferreira P4, Duncan P5. Then we got G4 Swaggy, Vapor North with the rocking the New Zealand flag. I definitely don't think he's in New Zealand. I think he lives in Europe somewhere. Asicom P8, Joey P9, Crichton with a top 10 finish. It's not a bad recovery from him after starting 12th. Cohen on P11 was the last of our finishes actually. Then we had Just, Lars, LRB, Ryan and Avosi. So quite a few DNFs. So yeah, that has been the Bahrain Grand Prix. Thanks for sticking with us and racing, watching the race. Thanks for joining us. Of course, it is Easter next weekend, so no racing. So we have our first of 2 season breaks next weekend. So we hope everyone stays safe and enjoys their Easter break wherever you are. Enjoy time with friends and family, and we'll be back in 2 weeks' time for the Chinese Grand Prix, actually, which would have been the Chinese Grand Prix in real life because I actually planned it like that, as I did with Bahrain today. But of course, China's not on the calendar. I think it's going to be Imola instead. So, yeah, we will see you then in a couple of weeks. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, Marco, as well, for your co-commentary. It was really good to have you on board.
Thanks, Matt, and see you next time. Ciao, ragazzi.
Ciao, ragazzi. All right. See you next time. Bye-bye.